The autumn season is already here, and today we are going to paint a beautiful scene from Tuscany. The color palette is, of course, from autumn, and we are going to use very, very limited colors for completing this painting. Hi guys, I am Dhritika Nath, an artist, instructor, mother, teacher, brand owner of Vibrant Puzzles, where we manufacture handmade sketchbook, artist grade paints, and much more. I have taught more than 35 students all over the world, and I have this love for travel, and hence you can see a lot of travel vlogs as well as painting that comes up on my channel. The speed of the video is 1.5x, so you can go ahead and reduce the speed of the video. Right now, I am just applying the water. The speed might be a bit higher. I have mixed two colors. One is some amount of my ultramarine, and the second part is some of my phthalo blue. And I'm going ahead and applying a very, very light shade as I progress towards the bottom area. I will move around my sketchbook, and this is practically designing one page of your sketchbook with me. I know this is just a very, very partial part that I'm discussing right now. Of course, you have all the ability to go ahead and design your sketchbook as you want. But for me, designing my sketchbook really doesn't count to a great extent. Whatever I like about a painting or whatever I want to sketch, I go ahead and sketch on my sketchbook. This is the safest place, as I always say for myself. Sketchbook is the place for your failure. Sketchbook is the place for all your practice, and sketchbook can only lead or pave the way for the better paintings that you do tomorrow. That's why never be shy of using a good sketchbook. I feel purchasing a very good sketchbook is the first step that you take towards your watercolor journey. If you are having a good sketchbook by your side, believe me, whenever you want to paint, you can go ahead and paint your heart out. I usually sketch on my own sketchbooks from Vibrant Parcels, and this is, of course, a very, very small brand. You can go ahead and talk to us altogether and give your order as you want on the kind of paper of your choice. That's the best part of using any handmade sketchbooks, I feel very strongly. Okay, going ahead and adding some more clouds. Clouds is something that I have always loved painting, whether it be my initial days when I started out with my watercolor journey or as I'm maturing in this watercolor journey. Both ways, I think I have not even a bit lost my interest about painting my clouds. Greens are something that I always feel helps you to balance the painting, and I'm going ahead with my darkest value of green in terms of the earthy green that I have. You can also go ahead with sap green or any of your olive green. In case you do not have, you can go ahead, mix a bit of your brown into the green that's already existing with you and get a color that looks similar to the one which I am using. While my sky is still wet, I would go ahead and add the darker values. For my darker values, either you can use sepia plus your indigo or Payne's gray, or else you can also go ahead and use some amount of your indigo plus some of your sepia into it. As I've told you, it can be any combination. It can be even your burnt sienna. Now my burnt sienna has a bit of red in it, and sometimes it is not a great idea to use it. It gives me some greenish kind of a shade which I don't like, and hence I like using sepia more compared to the color that I've told you, which is more like a greenish, dark, dirty kind of a color, and I really don't like the mix. Now, the mixes that you make is very important. You should test your mixes on a paper rather than going ahead and blindly following what you observe, because the pigments actually turn out very differently on paper compared to what you observe your particular instructor or following any tutorial that you are taking. Okay, going ahead and adding some more clouds. My paper is still wet, and believe me, this 185 GSM paper can take a lot of water. So go ahead, add as much water as you want, and then create the clouds. I am so happy while I create this cloud because this cloud is very soft, and for my paintings I love to keep it pretty soft and nice. going ahead and adding some more of the colors. You can also go ahead and just mask out the area which you don't want to add. Like I initially thought of masking out the top part, or basically the church area which I'm painting, but then I thought that let's leave it and move ahead with the painting. But it's all up to you how you want to go ahead and work on it. I always say that watercolors is the place where you can play a lot. Having said that, it will come up with its own challenges, and one of the most important challenges of watercolor is to control the water. Once you paint more and more, you get to understand how to control your water in a better way. So always go ahead and paint as much as you want. I have mixed a bit of blue into the darkest value of green that I had, and now you can see a beautiful shade that I'm applying towards the bottom part of the green area of my tree. Yeah, so every time you are working with watercolors, you need to work with the light and shadow. Light and shadow really allows us to not only play with the medium to a better way, it also helps us to understand how we should create the depth in the painting. Light and shadows actually create this one dimensional simple flat page into two dimensional or a multi dimensional painting, and that's what we are here to create. Create something that looks way more amazing, and it appeals to you. So going ahead and adding my trees first, though I think painting the church would have been a better idea, but it's okay. I mean, we have a very small place to go ahead and paint, and hence I did not think much while I was painting. It's very spontaneous to me in terms of when it comes to painting. I don't think much what to paint, how to paint. I just go ahead with the flow. Going with the flow really helps me to understand the process better, as well as I keep enjoying the process. This is what I have learned from my own journey, that enjoying the process is more important compared to what you actually see on paper. Every painting will not be 100%, or it would not be a masterpiece, and we're not here to create everyday a masterpiece. That is something which I have learned. Few of them will be failures and few of them would be great outcome. We will wait for those great days, and on the days that we are not performing great, we will just learn from our experience. Learning is great, and learning only makes progress. So let's continue on our journey of progress. I'm going ahead and applying some Naples yellow. Along with Naples yellow, you can also go ahead and apply some burnt sienna. I would even go ahead and add some of my greener shades, and my green shade is basically my darkest value of green, of course, which is more earthy, and that's the olive green which I would be using towards the right side. Though completing this painting was actually very satisfying to myself and to my soul, but I was not sure of how this whole painting will turn out while I was progressing with my journey. Now this is something every watercolor artist go through, I would say, during their painting sessions. Initially when we are painting, we are not sure of how it is going to turn out, but just continue with your work. I'm pretty sure about it, you're going to nail the whole of the painting once it turns out in your favor. Okay, adding some more lines towards the left and as well as towards the right. Darkest and lightest value, of course, we have to go ahead and alter these values for the best of to the best of our abilities, and this will actually help us to have a better outcome. Let us continue to blend our colors and paint. I will make a few lines over here in the wet on wet place. Why? Because that would really help me to show the perspective. Now, all these lines are basically converging to one single point, which is called as the vanishing point. I'm not sure if many of you are aware of this concept, but usually we have it under perspective, and you can read about it in more detail on internet and Google it if you want. Okay, going ahead and adding some more green. As I have told you, I would continue to add some green in few of the places. This is on the more earthy side. I really don't want us to get into the absolute red browns that we usually observe on the autumn paintings. But yes, I have used a bit of green while I did paint my autumn scene. Okay, just clearing out a few space whenever it is necessary. I am not very sure right now, but adding the shadows of the well into my painting first, and then adding the shadow even of the tree just below it. Okay, we have added the shadow of the church even on the left side. You can observe that. And going ahead and adding the darkest value on the right as well as on the left. Okay, let's continue with our painting. You can have any kind of monument of your choice. It's not important to paint something that looks like this. You can use all the learnings that you have from here into your next painting. Okay, adding some more of the darkest value in few of the places, but then again blending it to get a lighter value. Adding with more water really helps to play with the background in a better way, because you're covering a lot of space, and having more water in your brush really helps at this stage. As I've told you earlier, I would be adding these lines for perspective, and all these lines will converge to one single point in the background, and that's how we show perspective in a better way. Though you can do this, or you may even go ahead and avoid it, but the whole of the painting was looking pretty much not in place without this. We were unable to show the perspective in a better way, and hence this is one of the ways that I did take for showing that the monument is at a distance, or the particular building, whatever you want to do, is at a distance, and we are just creating some lines right now to show that distance in a better way using the. You can go ahead and use a palette knife to create some grasses. It would help you to displace the colors from the area that you observe over here. Sometimes I do use my flat brush to remove any extra paints from the paper wherever I feel it is necessary. As well as you can also use a clear damp brush to do the same exercise. These are some of the ways in which we can remove any extra paints from the paper, or we are not happy with a particular place. Lift out the paints from that area in this particular way. Okay, there are many other ways in which, of course, you can go ahead and lift up. This is one of the ways that I usually follow for lifting off my paints, I would say. Okay, going ahead and making my tree. Now, the trunk of the tree is very important. Of course, we are going to add just a bit of lines here and there. These are at a distance, and we are not going to paint them a lot in detail. Continue to work on it, and then we will just add the darker side of the monument, or this particular building on the left, and the lighter side on the right. Now this is what we have observed even for our well, and we are going to observe it for our trees, we are going to observe it for our buildings. So everything that you see, the darker side or the place in the shadow would be on the left, and the right side would be more in the light, and that's how you continue working. Okay, I think it's time to just shape up our well in a better way, and then we will add the darker value into the building. I usually mix my blue into the brown shade that you observe over here, and then add it onto the darker parts. You can really learn this thing, how to work with this darker value, how to add it on a painting, from my website. I have a class coming up over there, and there you get to learn the reflections too into the water. Continue working with the whole of this area, and then add some more of the darkest value that you observe. While my paper is wet, I would go ahead and add the darkest value on the door that we see on the left side, and then even apply the shadow of the building onto the land area. Now, darkest value is usually my burnt sienna. You can also go ahead and apply some amount of your Vandyke brown for this part. Now, this is a very, very small part of the building. That's one of the reasons you don't see much of detail in it. And it is absolutely fine to have less details in smaller buildings. We are almost done with this part of the painting. I'm just onto the last few details which I want to add for the whole of the area, and then we are going to be done. I am very excited to see the final results. If you are there on any of the social media, please do tag me on Instagram, Facebook, or even threads. I go by the name watercolor.illustration.letter. I would love to share back whatever you paint on my stories. Do tag me. I will love to have a look at it as well as give my valuable feedback. In case you are new to watercolors and are not aware of how to go about it, I think the best way is to start with a few classes. I have these classes available on my website www.vibrantparcels.com under the courses section. There are about 4 to 5 classes that are available. There are a few longer classes and there are a few shorter classes, and depending on them, that you can say, you can decide what you want. Everything has a preliminary introduction: what are the materials that you need, how you sketch, and how you go about completing the whole of the painting. It is a much more stepwise manner, and there is many hours of effort that has gone into it. So the whole of the sessions are starting from 2 hours till I think 8 to 9 hours in total. So you can take it and you can watch it at your own speed and at your own time, because they are available for lifetime and the prices are also pretty normal. So in fact, I would say that it is much more decently priced. You can anytime go ahead and try them out. If you are someone who wants to learn more or who is ready to go ahead and check out Skillshare, I do have many classes on that platform, and it's a monthly membership. So yes, it's not a one-time purchase, but you will have a much better outcome even over there, because there are more classes available at this point in time on that platform. So I would leave that decision up to you, if you would like to have a permanent purchase for lifetime, or you would love to go ahead and have a monthly membership thing. There are various classes, and if you are someone who loves wet on wet, I'm coming up with a new class absolutely on wet on wet. I think each of these classes you're going to enjoy to the fullest. Okay, adding some more lines to my painting, as well as just defining the structure a bit more. That's it. You can have a closer view of how I work through the entire process. If you have liked this video, please go ahead and just give me a thumbs up. I would love to know that who all have loved the video. And in case you are painting along with me, please do leave a comment. I do reply to each and every comment that you leave. I love to go through all the comments, and if you have any idea that you want me to paint, please go ahead and write it in the comment. I would like to include it maybe in future videos that I'm coming up with. There are 2 videos every week, so you can wait for the next video on Wednesday. It's going to be a blast. We are going to learn something absolutely new in that video, and I'm going to tell you a lot more secrets about watercolors. Watercolors is a medium that many of you might have thought is really tough and difficult to work with, but all I can say to you is the most amazing medium that you can ever think of. So let's enjoy this medium, and happy painting to each one of you.